Hello guys and welcome to today's build. So this one is going to be a trapped fortress. I want it to be functional for use in things like invasions and events and things like that. So the main inspiration for this one is going to come straight from Dark Souls in the form of Sen's Fortress. So that's a really unique building in that game. It's like this giant medieval castle, but it does have mechanical elements as well. So there's rooms that have like gears and cogs spinning. The entire place is full of traps, which is perfect for this build. And most of these traps can actually be perfectly replicated in Terraria. So for example, in Sen's Fortress there are giant boulders that sort of run down the building, and you can sort of manipulate them and change the directions they're in, and they can reveal secret rooms and things. Now Terraria, we can sort of create, something really similar due to the fact that we do have boulder statues. There's also spear traps and all kinds of things, really, trapdoors. So I've just built up the sort of base layer for this. So it is quite large, probably one of the largest structures I've built so far. There are the 3 gates there, and I do intend on, as you can see there, just sticking some spear traps at the top, so it looks like the gates are actually opening and closing themselves. This is pulled straight from Sen's Fortress, so as you're walking towards the fortress on this little bridge, this is pretty much what you see. Of course, it's hard to actually perfectly replicate it because it is 2D, so there will be elements that aren't really identical to Sen's Fortress, and it's not supposed to be the exact same, it's just supposed to be inspired by it. So you can see here I've just been doing some messing around with boulder traps and just trying to get a general idea of how they work. And here I moved on to building some flame traps. Now there aren't any flame traps in Sen's Fortress and Dark Souls as far as I'm aware, but I did want to add these in anyway just because they do quite a lot of damage, and I want this place to be as functional as possible. So you can see I built this iron gargoyle type thing, and I was going to sort of hide the flames in its mouth. In the end I decided not to do that and just have them as simple like holes in the wall. Made them more compact and easier to fit in with the rest of the stuff. And you can see here, so this is a room that I'm building that is very similar to one that is in Dark Souls Sen's Fortress. So it's the room where you can actually change the direction of the boulders and where they go. So there's this sort of like giant brick thing where the boulders fall onto, and you can turn a lever to rotate it and send it whichever way you want. And in that room is full of like cogs and gears, and that's what I'm building up in the background here. So it's not an exact replica, but I do want these elements in there so you can sort of see where the inspiration came from. And I really do like the meshing together of this sort of industrial, not quite steampunk, it's more mechanical with this medieval theme as well. So you can see throughout the fortress I've added these little holes in the walls, and these are the holes that are going to be shooting the darts, which are supposed to act as the spear traps in Sen's Fortress. So they look pretty much identical, like a little hole in the wall surrounded by wooden planks. And I'm just adding some finishing touches in terms of decoration now. So again, trying to keep it with the theme of Sen's Fortress, I added some crates in there, some barrels. I also added a lot of these statues, which is sort of reminiscent of the statues that are in Sen's Fortress. In Dark Souls, there are heaps of them, and these ones look really similar as well, which is perfect. I've also added a bunch of pottery because we all know if you played Dark Souls, about 30% of that game is just rolling through pottery and seeing what's inside. So that's all good as well. I'm really liking the way this is coming together now. I was a little bit worried midway through this because it wasn't really looking good at all. And I was getting sort of nervous that I'd spent all this time on this huge build and it was going to turn out terribly, but I think I like the way it's going so far. And here I'm just going to build up the entrance to this place a little bit, just to make it fit in terms of detail, add some little windows and ledges on there. So this is going to be the main way you actually get to the centre of this fortress. Because it is going to be trapped, it's going to be incredibly dangerous to actually go through normally, so I'm going to just add in a teleporter at the top of this tower, so I can easily teleport into the control room, and should be able to control all the traps from there. I'm just going to add some sort of stakes on the outside areas of this fortress, these wooden pikes that are coming up from the walls. Again, these are just ripped off straight from Sen's Fortress. When you go outside, so the sort of outside area of that location, the exact same things there, just sort of wooden stakes that are like pointing out of the walls. And I wanted to just replicate that a little bit here. And I'm just going to add some pine trees around the outside. Now, I was debating adding regular trees, but this area on this map is right nearby another build that I did that I want to sort of blend it into, and that area has a lot of pine trees, so I'm just going to choose to do pine trees on the outside of here. Now it's time to actually add the wiring into the build. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to hide a few timers under the build where you can't see them because I don't want them to ruin the aesthetic. And I'm going to put in a lever that connects those timers so I can actually turn the fortress on as you were and activate all the traps from the control room right in the center of the build, where I will be safe from the majority of them. So I'm just going to use different coloured wiring to activate the different traps, different timings. Now I'm not a wiring expert, and I may revisit this build at a later date to polish up the wiring and actually make things functionally as sound as possible. Right, so looks like we're all done. The moment of truth. Will the traps work? I think to test this, we will test it on the Goblin Army invasion. So I'll just summon that now, and we'll see how effective this place really is. Let's do this. So I'm just going to wait till they get really close. Slowly walking by. And this guy's firing stuff, so I'm going to activate it now. Well, those two goblins got absolutely decimated. I wonder if I will be able to actually activate that great trap underneath this room. I've rigged it so I can actually turn off the actuators on it, or turn them on rather, and sort of make people slip through the floor down into the sort of spear pit below where the gates are. I think this may be a little bit too effective though, and I might not actually get to use that. It seems like the goblins just get instantly shredded the minute they walk in. Yep, there's a guy there. Yep, instantly shredded. There are those shadow bolt ones that fly around and cause some issues. They don't instantly die. But it seems like it's slowly killing them off, and doesn't like I'm... Oh, there's a guy there actually. I'm going to get to do it. Bam. And right into the spear trap. Beautiful. Perfection. Chef's kiss. Yeah, so it's safe to say I think this place pretty much serves its purpose. Maybe a little bit too well. I was hoping that most invasions will be able to actually get monsters in, so I could sort of watch them dive the traps, but I guess they just get instantly killed the second they go anywhere near this place. So I might modify it a little bit, remove some traps, but that's something for another time. Anyway, that just about wraps it up for today. Thank you for watching, guys. I apologise this one took a little bit longer than usual. The reason for that was just because it's probably the largest structure I've ever built, and it was a little bit more complex because it has quite a lot of wiring and stuff in it as well. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, please consider subscribing and commenting, and I will see you next time. Cheers.